I'm in Medford, Long Island, outside of Haven Drugs. One of the most brutal crimes in Long Island history. Two people have since been put in jail. One individual by the name of Mr. Laffer, who was 33, sentenced to the maximum possible term, 4 consecutive life sentences without parole. And his wife, who was sentenced to 25 years max for driving him and helping him later dispose of evidence as well in this horrific crime. Family-owned business. We're in Medford, 60 miles east of New York City. It's a pharmacy, family-owned business, which a lot of the neighborhood goes to. It's in the middle of a kind of little small office complexes, and I'm just doing this through the inside of my car. It's a little, it's a very busy, and just really don't feel comfortable shooting outside. But inside this location, June, a robbery. Over 12, 13 years ago at this point. So, what has happened behind this? Based on surveillance. So, what happened here, based on video, Laffer, who was a Army veteran, walked into the drugstore, disguised in a fake beard, sunglasses, and a hat, black backpack, approached the pharmacist, and he casually discussed various drug interactions. Short conversation, he asked another employee to leave the area so that he could speak privately. Without any warning, he blasted the pharmacist in the abdomen before going after the other employee who he had asked to leave, chasing her to the rear of the store and shooting her twice. The killer then noticed Ferguson still moaning, moving, and he shot him 2 more times into his head. So when this happened, at that point, that's when Laffer thousands of pills into his backpack, and then he heard an elderly retiree enter the store. Crouched down behind the victim, who was getting pills for his ailing wife, and he also shot him in the head. He then returned to get even more pills. And when he heard his 4th and final victim enter the store, fired his final bullet into her head from behind as her fiance waited in a car outside the store, which would most likely be somewhere around here. No resistance. They probably never even seen it coming. So then Laffer hustled out of the store, hopped into his getaway car with his wife, So, of course, you need an alibi, and what's your alibi? Buying snacks and beverages at a local convenience store half an hour later. But, there were fingerprints left at the scene. Disassembled murder weapon recovered from his home, and thousands of pills recovered in his room. May these people, not to pass judgment, but on cases like this, may these two criminals get their just due. And judgment from the big man upstairs.
Shrine only seems to grow. It has become enormous, and all throughout the night people have been stopping by, tending to the candles, placing flowers and notes, saying silent prayers. This remains very much a community in mourning, and today's news of an indictment provided only cold comfort.
They'll serve their time, and justice will will be done, but it's not going to bring anyone back.
Indicted. 33-year-old David Laffer, accused in connection with the Medford Pharmacy Massacre on Father's Day. Detectives say the killer was caught on surveillance video when he walked into the suburban Long Island drugstore to steal prescription pain pills and killed everyone inside, gunning down 2 store employees and 2 customers. Laffer did not appear in court today, but his attorney addressed the media after learning of her client's indictment.
You all saw his face. I think that comes from the fact that the police did not get a confession that they wanted from him.
She suggested Laffer is not suicidal, but should be kept in protective custody for his own safety. The grand jury indictment against Laffer remains sealed, so the specific charges won't be publicly known, possibly until Friday. His attorney expects Laffer will be indicted for all 4 murders, plus robbery and weapons charges. Laffer's wife, Melinda Brady, who cops say drove the getaway car, was also arrested in connection with the quadruple killings. So far, she's not been indicted by the grand jury. Her husband's lawyer says Brady could be cooperating with police, hoping to cut a deal. Published reports claim she told cops killing was not part of the plan.
Every indication in my experience is clearly she's cooperating. She was going to say anything they wanted to hear.
Last week brought one funeral after another as the victims, who ranged in age from 17 to 71, were laid to rest. According to published reports, authorities were able to track down Laffer after he left a fingerprint at the pharmacy. Investigators believe the licensed gun holder used his own .45 to kill the victims. Back now live in Medford looking at that shrine, and today at our news conference we got a kind of a clue as to how the defense strategy might be proceeding here. Laffer's attorney is implying that this might be a huge case of mistaken identity. She is not conceding at all that the person captured on the surveillance video from inside that store is indeed the same person who was arrested, her client. And if there was a fingerprint found inside this pharmacy here, she says maybe it is her client, but it doesn't prove murder. Reporting live tonight from Suffolk County, I'm Peter Thorne, Pix 11 News. Right now, let's get over to Lolita Lopez.